Chag Sameach, everyone. Tonight is Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer is the 33rd night of the Omer. The Omer is what we've been counting from the second night of Pesach until Shavuot, which is 50 days altogether. And tonight we're up to 33. Tonight we are celebrating the Hilulah of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So who was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? In the time of the Romans, there were a bunch of rabbis sitting down and talking about the Romans. Are they good? Are they bad? Who are they? How do we deal with them? And each one of them had a bit of a different approach. One blessed them, one didn't say anything, one said something neutral. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said they're bad people. Everything they do, they just do for themselves. We should not accept anything from them. The Romans put out a kill order on him. So him and his son run and hide in a cave. And this cave is far away from everything else. What do you do as a rabbi with nothing else to do? Sits there, and for 12 years they learn Torah and they pray. Now a person like this becomes a very, very spiritual person, but is very, very disconnected from the rest of the world. One day a voice comes out and says, who is going to tell Rabbi Shimon and his son that it is safe for them to come out? The king, the Caesar has died, and they can finally come and rejoin civilization. So they come out and they go out into the world and they see people working, and they cannot fathom people working as opposed to sitting and learning Torah. And it says that they look at them, and everything that they look at, it just burns and turns into ash. And a voice comes out from heaven and says, you came out to destroy my world, go back into the cave. Now, they go back into the cave, they learn for another year, they come back out. And now when they came back out, something changed. Every time that they saw something, his son, with his eyes, would burn it down, and Rabbi Shimon, with his eyes, would bring it back to life. That is what the Gemara says in Masechet Shabbat when it talks about it. One day they're walking, the two of them, and they see a elder man running with two bundles of hadassim. Hadassim are it was the flowers, I guess, of that generation. He's running with them, and he says, excuse me, sir, what do you have these two bundles for? And he says, one is for Shabbat, one is for Shamor, and one is for Zachor. The two times that the Torah talks about Shabbat, one in the form of Shamor, one in the form of Zachor, different elements of the mitzvot. Rabbi Shimon looks at his son and says, you see, look how much this simple man loves the mitzvahs. Look how much he loves God. So he's not sitting and learning every day. So he's not sitting and learning the whole day. So he's not spending his whole day praying. He's spending his time working in the field. But look what he's doing with this. How do we look at this story? Were they really burning things down? You know, they sit and learn, and now they've got like heat vision and burning things down with their eyes? Or when they looked at something and it didn't agree with their lifestyle that they've been used to, do they just cancel it out completely? Look at it and say, this cannot happen, and it turns in their mind to ashes. They look at it and say, this is just not Judaism. And when Rabbi Shimon comes back out, he says, I realize in myself that I have spent the past 12 years in nothing but spiritual elevation, and I forgot that there's the rest of the world. Now I'm ready to return and deal with people the way that you're supposed to. Tonight is also the day that the plague of the students of Rabbi Akiva stopped. Rabbi Akiva had thousands and thousands of students that died in a plague. Now, what does that mean? Rabbi Akiva taught, love your neighbor as yourself. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Ze klal gadol b'Torah. Ashrechem Yisrael. All of these wonderful things that Rabbi Akiva taught, and it says that his students did not respect each other. And because of this, a plague came to the world and killed his students, all except these four, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, one of them. And And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in this story, and in understanding from Rabbi Akiva, it's understanding that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai has a newfound understanding of what it means to be tolerant of other ways of worshiping God, inside the right way of worshiping God, but found the way of looking and saying, this is your way, this is his way. Talking about the plague, there's two opinions on how they died. The students of Rabbi Akiva. One is in a plague and one is in battle, because some of his students joined his other students' rebellion against the Romans, who is Bar Kokhba, which is another hero that is sung about tonight. And there's an argument that is brought up about what are they fighting about? Why do they disagree? What is they don't respect? And some say that it had to exactly do with the same argument that we have today in Israel of, do you go to the army or do you go to yeshiva? What is more important, the physical or the spiritual? And realizing that we are all part of the same machine, right? You can be the right hand, I can be the left hand, you can be the eye, I can be the tongue, doesn't matter. But we're all part of the same being, the same creation, the same family. When one of us hurts, all of us are hurting. When one of us succeeds, all of us succeed. And this is what we should take with us this year from BaOmer. Chag Sameach, everyone.